YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Movie Zone with me, your host Jonathan, aka the Doctor Movies, and with my continuation of the Star Wars trilogy saga. Now we on to finally the good ones. If you wanted to watch my other reviews, they're uploaded already. Go check those movies out if you want to watch the prequels, so you can get ready to catch up to episode 7, which will be coming in theaters in less than maybe 10 days away, people. I'm excited. So let's talk about the great one. Episode 4, A New Hope. Okay, so basically this movie, when it first came out, it was like in the 70s, so nobody knew what this movie was. It was just a movie directed by George Lucas, and it was just something so special. Like, when it first came out, nobody knew what this was, and this was just like a rip-off of some space movie, whatever. But it had a lot of elements of, the hero saving the girl, the villain, and it's just one of the greatest movies, I think, in history. Couple of reasons. One, we have great dialogue here by some of the great actors. We have Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker. We have Han Solo, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia, and of course, Darth Vader himself. Now, to talk about the heroes. Well, let's start with Luke. Luke basically was just a regular kid on a planet from Tatooine. Kind of a poor planet, mostly desert, nothing really there. So all his dream was just to become a pilot and just to get off that planet, to explore the world. So what happened was he gets a little bit of a trouble, not too much trouble, but kind of in a way where he has to get off that planet to explore the universe. He meets these two droids by the names of R2-D2 and C-3PO, and then they're carrying basically a secret plan to take out a giant battle station shaped like a moon called the Death Star by the Empire. So he meets them. He becomes, the owner of them, and his mission now is to find another person who was a Jedi who went from thousands of years ago, was the most powerful things. They were like the space cops of the universe, pretty much, put it that way. So he finds them. They go off this mission. They gotta go save the princess because she has the information of how to destroy this great big battle station. So what they have to do, they gotta go find a spaceship fast enough to go travel through the galaxy, and they find one of the greatest smugglers of all time, Harrison Ford's Han Solo. Now, Harrison Ford playing Han Solo was pretty much awesome in so many different ways. He reminded me a lot, like, he take this character, and then you look at Indiana Jones, pretty much the same thing, if you want to put it that way, but in space. And I truly enjoyed watching him work. You don't know if he was being a cheapskate because he was in there, going to help these guys out. He didn't even know who they were. He's like, okay, I'll take you to where you gotta go. I'll just need you to pay me. He didn't really care. He had a best friend who was basically a big giant dog named Chewbacca. One of the coolest characters ever. Very big, very strong. And, they do their own thing. They do missions, they get paid, and that's what he really wants. He just wants money. So he meets Luke Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi. They tell him we need to go to this planet Alderaan to figure out what the heck is going on. So he's like, okay, sure, no problem. Pay me money. And he takes them. And now they get in this great adventure to find the princess, who apparently they didn't even know who was locked up because Darth Vader took her. Now, Darth Vader is another character who we didn't know too much. When he first pops out, which I think was one of the best scenes ever, in the opening scene, his big giant ship, which is Imperial Destroyer, basically takes over this little ship, and he gets in there, and his Stormtroopers are blasting away. So he pops up and he demands, where the crew, who's in charge, and he tries to find those plans. Now, Darth Vader is one of the coolest characters, I think, brought up in history. I think he's awesome for a couple of reasons. One, his background was such a mystery. I mean, when you first watch it, and you've never seen Star Wars before, you've never even seen the prequels, you're interested in his mystery. You're like, what is this guy all about? Because he just comes out, he's all black. He has like heavy breathing. You don't understand what that is. I mean, if you watch the prequels, then you understand what it is, but then it kind of kills it a little bit. But yeah, but Darth Vader's just a man. Darth Vader's the only one who still uses the ancient powers of the Force, which what the Jedi's used to use. But since in Episode 4, Jedi's hasn't been around for centuries or thousands of years, if you want to put it that way, he still uses it, and everybody doesn't. Everybody even in his team, think he's really crazy. So then he meets Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then when you see them interact with each other, you think they have history. And of course, if you watch the prequels, like I said, of course they have history. He was once Anakin Skywalker, and then, the rest is history. But then it goes to another adventure where they have to destroy the Death Star, which is, like I said, the big battle station. And like I said, it's one of the fun movies. This movie is just, in so many ways, it's just better than the original, better than these prequels, for a couple of reasons. One, you have great characters who, for 3 movies, they build up to them. They don't rush their characters to make them the heroes right away. Luke Skywalker, he first finds out that he's part Jedi, and, he doesn't start using the powers right away. He senses it, but he doesn't know how to use it right away. That's another thing I really liked about it, because he has to develop it for the other 2 movies to be able to become a full-on Jedi. When we see Episode 7, we're pretty sure he's going to be the Grand Master of it now, but before then, he didn't really know much about it. He didn't even know what his life was before this whole thing was turned him upside down. And then you have Princess Leia, who was pretty much everybody back in those days was everybody's crush, right? When I first saw her, she was cute. I have to admit that Carrie Fisher back then was cute. Now look at her, whatever. But she's still great, and she's still Princess Leia. She still kicks butt. If I had a nitpick about this movie, one negative about this movie I don't like, just one small minor thing, but it can change. I feel like when they shoot their blasters, they just shoot them randomly. It just ricochets off walls, and they hardly ever get the targets. And the Stormtroopers, yeah, they never good shots. But yeah, it was so funny just watching them shoot. It's just hilarious, but in a good way, because you still root for them, because you have to decide which team you want to be. You want to be in Rebels or the Empire. I always pick the Empire because being bad is so cool. But yeah, Star Wars Episode 4 has a lot of kind of character traits from other movies. You have like the hero, like who he finds himself that he's more than just who he is. Then, he's got to go find a princess, and he's got an evil, dark villain. It reminds me a lot of, like, King Arthur in a way, where, if you watch King Arthur, he has to pull the sword from the stone, maybe a princess locked up in the tower, fight the evil dragon, or evil bad guy, whatever. It reminds me of that, but in space. One of the coolest moments for me was seeing the Millennium Falcon. And this is the ship that Han Solo and Chewbacca ride, and it's awesome. It reminds me a lot of the Starship Enterprise, but a lot more faster. From Star Trek, a lot more faster. That's like their main ship. Like you can recognize that ship from anywhere, even a commercial here or there, another movie. But yeah, but now seeing this Millennium Falcon again in Episode 7 is gonna be awesome. Just see it fly in space again. It's gonna work awesomely. I can't wait. But yeah, I just think Episode 4 is just. It's a fun movie. It's a fun movie. It's out of date now, but you know what? To me, I understand what the effects were, because back in the 70s, I'm pretty sure I can imagine they didn't have too much effects in there anyway. And, they made those effects work. And, yeah, when they showing how they blow up planets, because they had this big, massive laser in the Death Star, and the shot of destroy the planet. And, the effects, that you look at it now, it looks kind of cheesy, but you know what? Like I said, it's still cool because of what they had, what the limited was in the past. Now, we have special editions, and, I gotta get this off my chest because, honestly, if I don't talk about this, there's a scene in this movie where Han Solo's in a bar, but they call it the Cantina Bar. So he's sitting down, he's telling, Luke and Obi-Wan Kenobi that he's gonna take them to wherever they want to go. He gets up and he meets this alien bounty hunter named Greedo. Now Greedo is another bounty hunter or smuggler, if you want to call him that too. Just like Han, and there's a price on his head for this main, gangster mobster named Jabba the Hutt. Now we'll get to him in the next movies, but I just there's always a lot of talk that people say, because in the original movie, Han and him are talking, and Han Solo just doesn't want to hear him talk anymore, and he just blasts him. He takes his gun out and shoots him. Now, in the special editions, DVD special editions, they kind of changed that to where Greedo shot first, but still missed, and then Han Solo shot him. I don't buy that. I've seen the original video cassette versions, and those movies, Han shot first. And that just proves that, to me, and always, that Han Solo is just a badass. He doesn't care who you are. If you get in his face, he's going to shoot you. Like, if you've seen Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones, that very cool scene where that guy's whipping that sword around, he just looks at him and he just shoots him without even saying anything. And they got that from Star Wars, so, there you go. I just wish that, they brought that scene back instead of changing it to where Greedo shot first, but, you know what? My opinion, I still think that he shot first, because that just proves to me and everybody else that he's just a badass. So, if you want to think about him, Greedo shooting first, go ahead. I'm pretty sure there's a video of when Han shot first in YouTube somewhere, but who knows. If it's VHS, it's a long time ago those movies came out. They got special editions now. I'm pretty sure now the Blu-rays are the same ones what the DVDs were, so we get that. And that's another thing, that's another negative for me, really. If I had to really think about it, negative for the DVD-wise, they changed it so much. Certain scenes shouldn't have been in that movie, but I don't want to get into too much detail about it because that's a long video. And I just feel that, to me, those movies are still good. If you watch them now, it's still good. I just ignore those parts because you have the Emperor in the movie as well. Spoiler if you haven't seen the movie, but honestly, you should see Star Wars by now. It shows the Emperor from back when he was in Episode 3, how young he was. They got the same actor from Episode 3 to play the Emperor to Episode 4. Now, in the original one, the Emperor from Episode 4 was a lot different. He was an older actor. I just don't remember his name. But yeah, that's one of the minor changes there. But yeah, still overall, this movie is just fun. I love this movie a lot. I can watch it any time of the week. Any time of the day, week, weekend, you name it. So if I had to grade this movie, I'm going to give it a 9. Because I really enjoyed this movie, and it just gets better and better as Episode 5 and 6 come along. But, I'll review those too. But yeah, I just want to talk about Star Wars Episode 4, because I just needed to let you guys know how awesome this movie is. If you haven't seen it, go check it out, and there you go. So, let me know in the comments, have you seen this movie? Have you even seen the other Star Wars movie? Do you even care about Star Wars? Are you excited about Episode 7? What's your favorite Star Wars movie so far? For me, it's Episode 5, but yet, when I get to that, I'll let you know why. And of course, thank you for watching, subscribe, and if you want to see more, just click down here, and you can see any of my other videos, with any kind of movie it is. And thank you, and have a good day.